Hello, I'm Michael Nesfasil. Today I'm interviewing Jim Anderson. This is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. We are at Jim's home in Burleson, Texas. Milton Gibson is operating the video equipment. Jim's friend Chris Lopez is attending in the room. And this interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
So, let's just start off with some of the basic biographical details.
Okay.
Tell us where you were born again.
I was born in Fort Stockton,
Texas.
Texas.
Okay. Your parents, did they have occupations? Was your mother just a homekeeper?
Mother's a homekeeper. My dad worked for the telephone company.
Phone company, okay. You have any brothers, sisters?
I have a brother and a sister.
Okay.
A sister and two brothers.
It's okay.
I'll get it straight.
Are any of them veterans?
Am I?
Are any of your brothers, sisters veterans?
No.
Did they join? Okay. How did your family feel about you joining the service?
Well, it looked like there was going to be wartime going on. So I went into the officer training school, and while I was there, then things got quiet all over the world. So there was no war at all during my service time. Great.
Where did you finish schooling at before you went in the service?
I can't remember where I finished school.
That's okay, Jim. But you have a university degree.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Did you have any jobs before you went in the service, or did you go from university straight to the service?
From the university straight to the service.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So you enlisted?
I did.
Yes,
Enlist.
you weren't drafted. And did you have any particular reason for enlisting?
Yes, there was wars going on at that time, and I knew that I would be drafted if I didn't go ahead and get it over with. So
Okay. And you went to OCS.
yes,
And-
officer candidate school.
And you joined the Navy.
Yes.
The highest rank you achieved?
Let's see, JG and two above that. I don't know the names of the ranks.
Okay, so two above Lieutenant JJ?
Yes.
So that would have been Lieutenant and then Lieutenant Commander.
Lieutenant was my Navy time, and then after private Navy.
Okay. 03 while you were on active duty, and then 04 Lieutenant Commander in the reserves?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a one vivid memory, most vivid memory of OCS, your training?
Oh, yes. It rained it snowed waist deep. We had to go from class to class in that snow.
Where did you do this training?
In Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, wow. Yes, I can imagine. I've not ever been there, but I can imagine. So after OCS, what was your first assignment?
First assignment was on USS Estes.
On the Estes, okay.
And I was on that for the rest of my military service.
Okay, so 3 years of active duty on the Estes?
Estes.
That was a combat support ship?
It was easier to show you than to tell about it. It was a fairly large ship with
you can hold the book up.
Lots of people.
Yes. Yes, it looks like a large ship. So its function was to support the larger ships, or did it have, armament on it? Did it have cannon on it?
We carried commander type people in the Navy. And so that was our big duty, was to carry those commanders around.
Okay. So what specific training did you have for your job in the Navy?
I went to officer candidate school in Newport, Rhode Island.
Right.
And I trained with books up to my chin.
So, but were you a communications officer? Did you have a specific job duty on the ship?
I had a group of people on the ship that a large number of men on the forward part of the ship that took care of that particular part of the ship.
Okay. As in just normal maintenance, like what I've heard about from the Navy, scraping and chip paint and repainting the ship and and greasing the things that need greased and
Yes,
all that stuff?
There was a lot of that, yes.
Okay. What was the hardest part of your training?
Oh, slogging through the snow.
No. Okay.
And a whole stack of books up to my chin.
Yes. So now I'm just going to turn the floor over to you, and you tell us anything and everything you want to about your time on the Estes.
Okay.
Any ports of call that you had good
Right.
fun in,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah, the first trip was to Japan, and we were there for just a little while, and then we moved on and to Indochina, and we moved on to Haiphong, and then we moved to Saigon. And then we crossed the line, the mid of the world.
The equator,
No,
the date line.
in the sea, the middle of the world.
Right.
Yeah,
It-
I can't call the name.
The equator goes around the center,
Yeah,
and the international date line goes north and south through the Pacific.
we went below the center
Okay.
just for the presence of that, and we had a party while we were there. Did a lot of pretension.
I've seen that on some TV shows, that
Yes.
every Navy ship that crosses the equator has some sort of ceremony for the sailors that it's their first time doing
Oh,
it.
yes. Yes, that's right. And then we went to Hong Kong. We went around a lot of places. We went to Korea. We went to Japan. We went to Kamakura. We went to back to Japan from Kamakura. And then here are pictures of my people that worked under me on the ship, the forward part of the ship.
Okay. That was a lot of different ports of call.
A lot of ports of call, yes.
Did you have a regular routine when you would go on liberty at all the ports?
I didn't go on Liberty very much. It was pretty cold. And,
Okay.
But I did when I had the opportunity in various places just to go see what was there.
Right. So just normal sites of the city, museums, sailors and evening entertainment,
No, mostly it was just to visualize the place I was in and kind of get a feel for what that country was.
Okay. So, do you have a like favorite port of call that you had that you remember?
Not particularly, though. I enjoyed all the places that we were since there was no war going on.
Sure.
And I could just see all I wanted.
Did you like sample the food every place? At least eat one meal?
I seldom ate off of the ship.
Ah, okay.
Most of the time on the ship.
All right. So was your home port San Diego or?
San Diego.
Okay.
That's the home port.
Did you ever traverse the canal and go over to the Atlantic Theater? Or go around the Horn?
No.
South Africa?
No,
Or South America, I mean?
No, we stayed on the West Coast.
Okay. How long would you be out at sea at a time?
Oh, with the ship moving?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. All kinds of times. Sometimes it took a couple of days or 3 days to get from one port to the next. And other times, it was just right there when we took off and went over there.
Okay. Did the ship have any specific duties while it was out at sea?
It was a command ship.
Okay.
We had all of the commanders of the Navy for that area on our ship.
Okay, so you weren't an individual ship by yourself. It was like a group of ships.
Yes,
And
we had encountered other ships from time to time.
I forget what the Navy calls that assemblage of when there's more than one ship traveling together.
We never traveled with other ships, but they were present in places where we went.
Ah, okay. And so just was there a specific reason to go to a port of call? Were there meetings for the officers to go to, or?
Yes, that was strictly on for the officers to take care of whatever business they had in those ports.
Okay. So did you? I take it you enjoyed your 3 years on board that ship?
Yes, that was pleasant. It was good to see the world.
Yes. And did you suffer any from seasickness?
No. Well, I had to go topside when we started out to get used to it.
Okay.
And if I stayed below, I got seasick.
That was always my fear about joining the Navy, that I would get seasick.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing in specific at any port of call stands out for you that was like more unusual than than the last place or some other place?
Well, it was a little bit unusual to take that big ship up a river to a town inland
Oh, wow.
in Korea.
Okay, you did.
And, of course, we had a guide to take it there. We didn't try it ourselves.
How far upriver did the ship go?
Oh, it was about 15 to 20 miles from the shore.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Got up there and put the nose of the ship into the side so it could swing around, be ready to go back.
Okay, I'm visualizing that in my brain. You sort of like steered the nose into like the shoreline,
right.
and then the
Swing the
and then the back end would swing
to
around.
turn us around. So
Okay.
it's a pretty crimped location to turn around in this little
I've
city
never heard of
in
that.
Saigon.
Never heard of that. Okay. Did you do any special assignments during your reserve time?
Oh, I did. After I got out of active duty, I did a little deal about once a week in which we would be ready to draft if we needed to have people to come into the Navy.
Okay.
So I would meet with other Navy guys just once a week for about 2 years worth of that.
Okay.
And then I moved away from there, so I didn't have that anymore. It wasn't available to me, so I was still on not active duty, but I was still part of the Navy.
A reserve officer.
Yes.
Okay, just, you didn't have any place to go drill on weekends or during the summer?
No.
Okay. Any other interesting occurrences in your time in the Navy?
Oh, a little later, I've got some things to tell about other than these things
Well,
over there.
I think now's the time.
I went to an atomic bomb test series.
Wow.
The ship did, and I witnessed several atomic bomb blasts. One particular one was an airdrop, and we were 15 miles away from it, and it was huge and impressive, and we were supposed to be protected from it.
Right. Yes.
But it turned out later that we weren't protected from it. So this caused me to have cancer. It took a long time in my life to have cancer, but I was repaid quite a sum of money for having been there.
Right.
With exposed to that cancer.
So this was an airdrop over the ocean?
It was an airdrop over a small island.
Okay. And you witnessed, how many of those did you go through? Just one or more?
There were about 5 during that time.
Okay.
There's various sizes, and some at one little port and some at another little islands that were several miles apart.
Okay. So this was actually during your active duty time?
Yes.
It was the Estes that you were
Yes.
serving on when you
That's
did this?
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, this is my curiosity, but is every atomic bomb blast, like, have you seen one, you've seen them all, or were there differences between the different blasts?
Well, of course, I didn't see the bombs themselves. All I saw was their flashes.
Right.
There were several different sizes.
Ah, okay.
Some were larger than others.
So the larger the bomb, the bigger the flash.
Oh, yes. It was very impressive.
Okay. And did this take place during the beginning of your time on the ship, the end of the time, about midway?
Near the end of the
Near
time.
the end? Okay. So, okay, that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So, what other great memories do you have?
While I was in OCS, Officer Candidate School, came Christmas time, and they gave us leave, and I kited it home, and my son was born while I was at home.
Oh, great.
And then I went back up to Newport, so I didn't have much time with him.
But still, you were home for when he was born,
Yes,
which was good.
yes.
And did your family live in San Diego while you were out at sea, or did they?
They came some. Of course, when I was overseas, there's no reason for them to be out there.
Right.
But when I had time at home, my wife would come and bring the child, and so we had a little time that way.
Okay.
She got to get on the ship and take a ride one day.
Oh, wow.
It was quite impressive to her.
I bet that's something I think I would have enjoyed. Just a short cruise, not go out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, that's just out part of a day.
Yeah. So, has your son ever served?
No.
Okay. So, I always heard, being a veteran of another branch of the service, that the food on board ships was like the best you could get. It was like eating at a 5-star restaurant.
It was pretty good. Good food.
Okay. Better than we got in our field mess tents.
Yes.
I think I forgot to ask early on, When were you born? What day?
February 23rd, 1932.
Okay. And so, I mean, like, did you have steak and lobster every day
Aboard the ship?
aboard the ship?
No, but we ate pretty well.
You ate well.
Yes.
Okay. Better than opening up a green can of some mystery meat.
No, we were officers aboard that ship, and we were fed very well.
Yes, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But when the ship would go to ports, did you buy local foodstuffs from that area, or was it always shipped to the ship by the Navy?
It was aboard the ship, shipped to the ship, and I didn't eat off of the ship.
Okay, but I mean, so if the cooks needed more flour and sugar and coffee, they didn't go downtown in say Husan or wherever you were at and buy it. Your ship was resupplied by a Navy supply ship.
That's a possibility. I didn't pay much attention to where it came from.
Okay. I'm just trying to. It seems like you're out there, you're isolated on your own in the middle of the ocean, and
Yes.
like where are you going to get your supplies from? Because I've seen on movies and TV documentaries, their Navy has refueling ships that come up alongside of other ships and transfer diesel fuel to their tanks.
We got most of that when we come into port.
Okay.
I had something that kind of gave an idea of the number of people aboard that ship.
Okay.
Page after page after page.
Oh yes, lots of men. So, what would you say? Maybe 1,000, 1,500 men?
Oh, probably 2,000.
2,000. Okay, it's quite a little community there.
Yes, it was. And we had the front part of the ship, front of the deck. I was over a group of people.
Right. Okay. So.
And I had the opportunity to guide the ship from time to time.
Oh,
that
wow.
was quite amazing to me that they'd trust me to do that.
I guess.
And we were usually about pretty well out in the ocean, and it
Less
wasn't much
chance of
fun.
hitting something.
Yeah.
So, so I know that every ship has a captain and a position called first officer, and I think there's a second officer. Were you then like the third, fourth, or fifth officer? Or?
Oh no, I was probably the 50th.
Okay.
So,
But they still let you steer the ship.
yes.
Okay. Was that under the thought process of if you if you stay in the Navy long enough, someday you're going to be a captain and you need to have learned how to do this earlier in life?
That's a possibility. I think mostly that the older guys didn't want to do that work, so they left it to the younger ones.
So, I need a coffee break. Stay in here. Yes, okay. It's a totally foreign concept to me, being in the Navy and going out to sea for long periods of time. And did your size of ship? It looked very big to me, but would I'm sure, like all ships, affected by the weather, the waves. But did it have to be like really big waves to make your ship rock and roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we did encounter that from time to time.
Okay.
And it was very scary at times.
Oh, I think even a little bit would scare me. So. So I'm trying to run through my brain. You had a group of men that, enlisted men that were assigned to your supervision,
Yes.
and they just maintained the
front part of the deck.
the front part of the deck. What about like underneath in the compartments below that? Was that another group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Trying to understand the division of labor on board a ship.
Yes. Yes. That's correct. It would be different groups doing different jobs.
Okay.
And of course that was.
Your men, your group, it was just specifically the.
Oh yeah. Here's a picture of my division.
Okay, so that's what they were called, divisions.
That's me sitting in the middle.
Okay.
So I had command over that group of men.
What is that, about 30 men?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. And they just, I mean, like, was there, besides cleaning rust and repainting the actual ship, was there, like, were there winches, cranes, equipment on that part of the ship they maintained also?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, a gun in the front part above the deck that was their responsibility.
Okay. To maintain it and fire it?
We didn't fire it very much, but yes, we did fire it a time or two.
If it needed to be fired,
Yes.
it would have been your sailors that
Right.
that manned it.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Do you remember what size? Was it 30 caliber, 50 caliber?
It was a very large. I wouldn't know the caliber.
Okay. I'm again, just trying to
Yeah.
imagine what it's like, because the biggest machine guns I ever ran across were 50 calibers.
Yeah. Well, it was much larger than that.
Okay, so it's probably one of those small, like cannon type, you know.
Yeah.
So, did you say they fired? Did you, like, maybe once or twice a year have gunnery practice for your crew?
No.
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 Okay.
We never fired that gun.
Okay. So,
What do you show? I was gonna say, you show it again.
okay, the
It's kind of hard to tell.
yes. But I just had another thought, Jim. Your quarters, they were all, were they below deck in the front, the middle, the back end of the ship, or all over the ship?
Front part of the ship, my particular place, there were, let's see, four officers who slept in that particular space.
Okay. Did you, I think the term was hot bunk it, or was it your space 24 hours a day? Your rack, your bed?
Oh, of course, I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend on the bed. Up topside, seeing what was going on,
Okay.
directing my sailors, and sometimes standing duty when we were in shore. Stand duty for people that came aboard
Okay.
and checking them when they came.
So, so the lower grade officers were four men to a room,
Yes,
and if you were like 04, 05, was it still four, or did you have private quarters?
all the time I was on the ship, it was in a quarter with four of us.
Okay, but I'm sure the captain had his own private quarters.
Always, yes.
Okay. Did the same go for like the senior enlisted sailor on the ship? Did he have private quarters, or did he have to share with someone?
Oh, he shared.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Bunks, rows of bunks.
Yeah, I just can't imagine living like that. But I take it though there were rotating shifts. It wasn't like everybody went to sleep at the same time. There was always somebody on duty in all parts of the ship?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you have to take your turn rotating at like night duty or, midnight till 6 in the morning duty?
I had command of the ship, sometimes at night, sometimes in daytime. It's the one that they trusted me with.
Yeah. But you were a Lieutenant JG.
Yeah.
They gotta trust somebody. They trained you, so it's
That's
like,
right.
why train you if they're not going to trust
Right.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. This has all been very interesting. Is there anything else that you can think of that you'd like to share with us?
No.
No.
So I'm suffering the cancer now because of that
Right.
bomb series, and but it was a good time, I thought, in the Navy. The only bad part about it was I was separated from my family.
Oh, sure. I understand that.
And sometimes when we were in port there in San Diego, my wife would come and son,
Sure.
and we'd stay there for a little while in an apartment. And then when I went out to sea, she went back to Dallas
Okay.
to her mother's.
So when you separated, when you finished your 3 years, where did that take place at? Do you remember?
I'm not understanding your question.
Where did you discharge from active duty at?
Oh, I was in port there at San Diego.
San Diego?
Yes,
And you came home to Texas?
yes. Was the interview for, like Library of Congress?
I thought I said that. Okay. All right. So you discharged at San Diego and came back home to Texas and
That's
went,
right.
found a job and went to work like the rest of us?
Yes.
Okay.
I got a job, General Dynamics, and my particular job was to test the structure to see which structure would withstand the noise of the ship.
Okay.
So I had charge of a thing that we put the test pieces in, big thick wall place, and a very high intensity noise. And that was my main job for the rest of my career.
Okay. So was that General Dynamics over in Fort Worth?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
yes. I did have to go away to Georgia for a couple of years when things got slow in
Right.
the Fort Worth
Yeah.
office. So I was able to take the same type of job
Yeah.
there for a couple of years, and just as soon as I was able to, I came
back.
right back.
Yeah, the only problem was you had to live in Georgia. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your time, and the interview was we did this interview. It's going to be recorded and stored. It's for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress,
Okay.
and at some point you will be able to look at it on a computer, and your son and your grandchildren and great grandchildren, and I think
Yes.
that's a wonderful thing. That's
Good.
that we're doing this so that future generations can see what men like you did for our country.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes. Very good.